Good morrow, Daniel Kremer reporting to you for Trailers from Hell. Now, tell me, if you met a dude named Youngblood Hawke, what would you call him? Youngie or Bloody? That's the question that Genevieve Page asks James Franciscus in this fiercely underrated 1964 Delmer Daves production called, you guessed it, Youngblood Hawke. And in the title role, there's, of course, James Franciscus, the always lovely Susanne Pleshette. There's Genevieve Page, which I mentioned. There's Ava Gabor. There's Mary Astor in her last movie role, and a parade of familiar faces, all perfect candidates for that one coffee table book about those ubiquitous character actors of classic Hollywood. I actually forget what it's called. This was, of course, based on the novel by Herman Wouk, who is known for another eponymous hero character, Marjorie Morningstar. This is an exquisitely photographed black and white soaper, and there's much more here than meets the eye. So without further ado, I introduce you to Youngblood Hawke.
The unforgettable Caine Mutiny came from the top of the nation's bestseller list to win the acclaim of the world's movie audiences. Now, Herman Wouk's latest novel.
This film was unavailable and out of circulation for quite a while until Warner Archive finally put it out on disc about 10 years ago or so. It's a soaper, but there's a lot of art here too. You'd expect at least a bit of that from the man who directed The Hanging Tree, 3:10 to Yuma, and Dark Passage. Delmer Daves was a scriptwriter before becoming a director, and he scored early career triumphs with pictures like Leo McCarey's Love Affair, and later An Affair to Remember, as well as The Petrified Forest. In the case of Youngblood Hawke, he's the writer-director, personally adapting Herman Wouk's doorstop novel into a nearly 2.5-hour drama. There's just a smidge of bowdlerizing, but trust me, you don't miss too much. There's still enough here that smolders and sizzles. Warner cut the budget of the film in prep, which necessitated Daves shooting in black and white. And though he was maybe relying on color to sell the glamour of New York's swanky literary scene, the black and white cinematography here by Charles Laughton Jr. paints a stunning monochrome vision of the Big Apple locations. Daves always did much of his best work with landscapes, and there's plenty of that in evidence here. James Franciscus, of course, plays the title role. Warren Beatty almost signed to the part, only to back out in favor of starring in Robert Rosson's Lilith. Warner looked at casting Bobby Darin, Stuart Whitman, George Peppard, and Terence Stamp before settling on Franciscus, who was trying to establish himself as a TV star at the time. Critics might carp, but I think he turns in fine work here, and his portrayal fits in snugly amid Daves' line of melodramas, which include A Summer Place, Rome Adventure, Susan Slade, Parish, and arguably Spencer's Mountain. This also features one of the final movie scores for Warner Brothers veteran Max Steiner. This is a man who had been with the studio at this point for decades and decades. There's that famous Bette Davis story where she's directed to ascend a staircase, and she asks her director, "Is Max Steiner scoring this?" When she hears the answer yes, she replies, "Either I'm going to go up these stairs or Max Steiner is, but it's not going to be both of us." And on that imperious note, get a load of Genevieve Page taking a big bite out of these lines.
She didn't want to suspect us, and I didn't want her to. Now she knows what I am.
Well, she knows you're no tramp.
She does now.
Daves wrote special short bits of her speaking on the phone in French in order to explain her accent. Oh, and if you love Susanne Pleshette, as I do, she was never lovelier than in this movie. In any event, with Youngblood Hawke, I'm a big fan of this one. And I've actually read some serious film writing that has compared shots and sequences from Youngblood Hawke to Antonioni, especially the films that Pauline Kael called his Sick Soul of Europe movies.